Hello y'all, this is my presentation video for week 8 in Aviation 360, going over Liberty, Aggregate, Liberty Mining and Aggregate, and the proposal that we just did. Going along, just highlighting some of the things to my executive summary as if I were just to do a quick elevator pitch presentation to my CEO or whoever I'm presenting this to. I'm going to walk up to them and say, hey, we wasted money and especially time going to the airlines. Here's my proposal. We're going to go over different ways that we can increase our time saved and expand into other territories by increasing our time, by giving us time that we didn't have before, and creating free time with just a simple token, aka money. I'm going to explain the differences between 4 different airplanes that I seem that they might deem fit. Being the Piper Meridian, the PC-12, the Kodiak, and the King Air 260. The first page I'm going to flip to show them is the city pair analysis results, showing them that mile per mile, airport to airport, we waste so much time going to the airlines to use our travel. I'm going to point out that if we use the airlines to travel, we only have 500 airports through the NBVA that they list, whereas if we were to fly corporate, we have 5,000 airports that we could access. So that just serves as a baseline for what we're rooting for. The average flight time is then reduced because you don't have to drive into a big city, which might be farther away, fly all the way out and drive back in. So our average flight time is reduced by more than 1 hour across the board. And then it also gives us a better ability to then do daily stops if we needed. If we were doing a line across Texas, we could visit a couple different airports. They're maybe 30-40 minutes apart, whereas we only get maybe 1 or 2 with the airlines, where it requires a lot more driving. So we are higher productivity. We have more control of our schedule because we're not following the airline. We have expanded access, so we can then access more at remote airports, especially depending on the airplane we choose. If we choose one with higher stowed abilities, we have reduced downtime between paying an executive just to sit there at an airport for a layover, a flight, delays. We also have just eliminate the need for a layover entirely. The next thing I'd show them is the aircraft specifications and just the direct cost to operate per hour. And the direct cost. We have the purchase price, which I mean, simple enough. What's the chip you got to throw down to enter this world? How many seats do we have on each of these airplanes? The cost an hour. So what does it cost an hour to run the airplane, and how can that affect what we're pricing for? The cruise speed, which then becomes crucial when we're talking about saving time, because that's what I'm presenting. I'm selling you time that you don't have using the airline. If we're using an airplane that's slower, we're not going to save as much time, and it might not become cost effective from a standpoint of how much time we actually save. The cabin utility, if we need to transport parts or people, or parts rather than people, how much utility does that cabin have? A good example is the Piper. Not a lot. You carry 4 people, 2 pilots, that's it. 6 people if our pilot is the person we're taking, that's not a lot. Whereas PC-12, throw a dirt bike in the back if you want. One of the most important parts of this that I very much enjoyed looking at throughout the project, or throughout this semester, is looking at the selection matrix tool and putting a weight to different scores that we need. Whereas the purchase price, age, maintenance cost an hour, fuel load, cabin volume, assigning a score, 1 to 4, of importance to us. The important things to us: cabin volume, purchase price, maintenance cost an hour, and then I'm more worried about the payload with max payload or the range with max payload rather than max range, because we don't have cross-country trips. We're not trying to go to New York to LA. We're not trying to go to London. So we're doing shorter trips where we don't necessarily have to worry about our range as much. We're not going across the ocean, but that's an important piece, and I've very much enjoyed that. The next thing that I'm going to show them is a cost analysis and how we have a base price a year that it costs us to operate with maintenance, hangars, purchase price, actually we'll back maintenance out of that because that might be non-linear. But purchase price, our payments, insurance, hangers, fees, lanyard, all that stuff. That's starts at the beginning of the year. Say we have $100,000 that we need to spend on that. Then the more we fly, it's a linear line. The more we fly, the more we pay, using that block price, and our recovery value. So we recover 430 hours of executive time annually, solely because we don't have to worry about TSA, we don't have to worry about layovers, we don't have to worry about longer flights, we don't have to worry about rental car transfers, because at most FPOs, they bring in a car for you, overnights, all that, because we utilize a business aircraft, which reduces our flight time from over 500 hours using the airline model to then 150 hours of flight time for our executives. Then this brings us to our recommendations of what I actually recommend. I recommend an on-demand solution 100%. Although we are spending in excess of $5 million potentially on an airplane, it will save us not only money in the long run, but it will save us time. And time is what we're buying in this scenario, because the more time we buy, the more time we have to spend on other things that we could then increase our competition on, to then increase our productivity elsewhere, increase access, increase our revenue, to then maybe purchase a second aircraft for another executive or more trips. And then I would go into detail on the different pros and cons. The Kodiak is slow, but it's cheaper and still performance. The Piper, it's a faster airplane, low costs, but it's a smaller cabin. We have a 6 people max. The PC-12, personally favorite airplane, so I might be a little biased, but utility, range, still performance, but it's going to cost you a lot more. And we do have only a single engine configuration rather than the King Air 260 that I'm going to bring up next is a multi-engine, but that means twice the costs. But we are faster and more reliable and a bigger cabin like the PC-12. Moving forward, I'm going to then give a short description on each of the different airplanes. If I'm not talking to them, if I'm giving them a presentation, I would then show each presentation, or a presentation on each airplane, but I would then determine steps. So determine financial details of what we can afford to spend on the hangar, pilots, insurance, what those costs are going to be, with the pilot qualifications that we have. Then we're going to start planning out how to actually staff it, conduct final reviews, and then evaluate the long-term utilization. Is this just going to be a short burst that we need an airplane for? Is it a longer-term thing? Will we need it for 6 months and go to sell the airplane, and then we get most of our initial money back? And how can we keep that as a good airplane? But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching.